Hello, everybody. My name is Enrique, and today we're going to start with the podcast between students. Today we're going to talk about our opinions during the lockdown, during the pandemic, what were the consequences and the privileges that we have during this pandemic that we have about COVID, and I'm going to introduce my partners who are Pedro Benavides and my partner Manuel Aguilera. And today we're going to talk about like these experiences that we have during the pandemic and what we suffer and we didn't suffer. I'm going to start with my point that is learning during the lockdown. For me, learning during the lockdown was a main pain in the back. For me, it was super difficult because I lost every motivation that I have with my studies. For me, it was like a empty space, and I was only hearing like the topics that the teachers were telling me. I know that there are some people who really got really motivated and they really developed their social skills during this type of classes, but in my case I really lost all my social skills. I became less empathic and more close between persons. Another point that I'm going to talk about is like the lack of motivation that I just recently told. And in my opinion, if a student during a pandemic or during a lockdown loses their motivation to study, it's super difficult to the student to develop their knowledge and wanting to learn new things. Another point is what are the what are the consequences about having internet issues. And I think, and I speak for all my partners, that this is going to be a huge, or is a huge problem to all of us, because probably all of us could be motivated and could be wanting to learn new things, but if we have those problems in, that impede us to connect with the teacher or to understand clearly what they want to say us, it's gonna be a huge mess for us, because we're gonna lose the content, we're gonna lose the connection or like the empathy that we have with the teacher, and mostly of the times the student is gonna lose their let's say their process or like their motivation to study this type of topics. I'm gonna give the word to my partner Manuel Aguilera. He's gonna talk about this type of topics.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's true what you say, my friend. I also had to add about, well, some pros and cons of learning at home because, yeah, it's true that many of us uh, were affected with this big change that nobody expected, really. But it also has some cons, I think. For example, well, first of all, being in your home, in your house, uh, well, that will be that uh, that protected you, of course, because uh, if you, well, if for any reason you try to go out of your house, well, you probably took that risk of getting infected. But well, learning in your house, I think, well, it is true that we that what also very new about some people, but well, it's just an experience, and I think that's a pro that, well, it was an experience uh, that, well, it gives you probably some new knowledge. It taught to you uh, how to use a certain software or system programs, etc. And of course, you didn't need to go out to. of your house to the school, uh, and well, you basically you could take all the classes in your home, uh, being comfortable, etc. But of course, the cons, the consequences, uh, the conscious was were many and more. For example, bad habits during class. For example, in the winter when it was very cold, you you stayed at your home, uh, in your bed, uh,
It's a
sleeping
really huge match
during,
for us.
yeah, sleeping during having a class. Basically, you you got very lazy. Probably also was eating while you was taking that class, and you didn't pay any attention to the teacher, and of course that also affected the knowledge and your progress, of course. And well, the self awareness was also a very bad reason of the cons. Probably the lonely you experienced what was very uh, was high, and you lost many friends. You lost the contact with many friends. Uh, you became more and more uh, distant, more nervous, shy, etc., etc. And of course, your social skills were affected because of this. And also, well, yeah, the the self-regulation too, because well, probably you got anxious about this. You got uh, well, your emotions were affected, and probably you got very angry and both with other people, your classmates, for example, your teachers. So basically, yeah, there were many cons because of the pandemic. And now my partner Pedro, we share with you some more experience.
Okay, thanks, Manuel. Where I'm talk about my experience in this work that it's learning remotely. And in my case, in university, the teachers send me a lot of homework. And I think that it's like, a really bad situation because if you have like uh, some hours of the day for take to school to the class, and I think that you need to respect and to have these classes, and after then if you want to do or to tell to the students to do a homework, I think that it's correctly, but uh, I think that you can like see what you want and say to students that homework. And I don't think that you need to do a lot of homeworks to have like an dominate a team. And I have this situation, and another one are the new rules online, and I see it some bad, but I don't see it that way at all. I think that uh, we are really obviously these rules, because I remember one that is take your cam on, and I think that's great because if you don't activate your camera, you don't know what we are doing the other people, and I think that it's great. And but some teachers that I have tell me some like homeworks or uh, some rules that for me that I am not a master on online or on technology, and that's two teachers have a master online, and the teachers want to the students bring work and a homework like really really professional, and I think that's really bad situation. And well, and the other things that I see that it's good for this pandemic is that when you are in your house, the cost of studying reduce a lot because you don't need to take the bus, or you don't need to put to the car gas for go to the school. And if you have a laptop and you can't do their notebooks in line online, and that's a really good point because you don't need to buy notebooks. And I think that's a really good point about the pandemic. And and I think that's my points of view of this and my experiences. And continue. I'm gonna send the word to Manuel.
Thank you. Well, yeah, those were very good experiences about you guys. Well, I'd like to talk about. Well, this is my opinion about uh, what will happen if the virus appears again. Uh, I think if we continue with this, that just don't care about the problem, I think we're playing with fire. Because, well, I mean, uh, we have to be empathy with others, okay? We have to make some change. For example, if the government uh, give us more new information about to be at home, or new rules, regulations to stay at home in the case that another virus come, well, we have to follow that rules, those regulations. I mean, uh, well, I think that if another virus come, probably more and more people would die. Will be more diseases around the world, and probably the virus will be more uh, will be stronger and more dangerous, and we don't know how long the doctors and scientists take to create uh, another uh, yeah,
Solution?
another vaccine. Well, yeah,
Vaccine.
basically
Yeah, basically.
vaccine. Yeah, and well, basically that. But for example, you, Luis, share with us what do you think would be a great solution to prevent in a uh, future pandemics. You know.
Okay, just to close this podcast that we have today, for me, in my opinion, the solutions that we could bring to the table, it's going to be like being more empathic with people, because we know in these hard times, if you're not empathic, you cannot socialize with new people or even with the doctors that are going to attend you at hospitals in case that you get sick by the new virus, or like by any small detail like flu or like a little stomach pain. It's going to be like develop empathy, develop self-awareness, trying to enhance self-regulation about how to socialize with new persons, or even with our parents, because we know they also having a hard time at their jobs. So for me, that's one of the main points. It's like develop the social skills like of every one of us. And I'm not trying to be facetious, because some people will say that, hey, but social skills will not develop like the cure for a new pandemic, or like they will not enhance how you control the people. But at the same time, if we enhance those aspects, we can master the social abilities of everyone. Like if we have a public more empathic, it's going to be perfect for the doctors to give them instructions, or to the people to just simply take the instructions that people have. And sadly, a lot of people think that's a lot of hoopla. But for me, if you focus on the person, on the person's feelings, and you enhance the rules for having like quarantines, really short quarantines, or like programmed lockdowns to prevent the spread of the virus, I think that will be the perfect aspect for us. If we don't do any any obligation that took for us, I think we are just playing with fire, because it's going to be our new catastrophe, like this recent pandemic that we just lived. But well,
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah, we're not being facetious about this. It's crucial that people be awareness about this problem in the future if you want to make change and prevent a very, very dangerous catastrophes around the world. You know,
yeah.
but
But
well,
well, I think this is all for us. I think people have a really
yeah,
good time with this really small podcast.
yeah,
We see you
and
on the next podcast. Have a really good time. And I don't know if any of my partners will want to say something.
Pedro, how about you? Your thoughts? Something you'd like to share?
Well, uh, I share all, but I only want to add that if we have the opportunity to take like some course or to be more like responsible, we can learn about some like first aid to take care about the 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 world, about all the people, and I have one that is to do to take the instructions of the government, and if she says that you only can stay in your house, you're staying in your house for prevent uh, more catastrophes. And that's all of my part.
Okay.
Okay.
With no further ado,
Well,
this was our podcast between the students. Have a really good time. This is the end of this podcast. Bye.
bye.
See you.